What is up, everybody? Taylor Sleaford back here. And in this video, I'm gonna tell you 5 things that great leaders do differently. Quick little background about me. You may or may not know, depending how long you've been following me. I have a background in college strength and conditioning. I've worked at Colorado State, Clemson, University of South Alabama, College of Charleston, worked with college athletes, professional athletes. So I've seen a lot of leaders in the athletic setting. I've also worked in the corporate world. I've also managed gyms, worked with entrepreneurs. I've seen the gamut. And over the past 10 years, these are things that I really believe if every leader does these 5 things, it'll be a game changer. So let's dive in, okay? The first one, this may seem a little counterintuitive, is prioritize self-care, okay? I see too many leaders burning the candle at both ends, when in fact, they need to spend time focusing on themselves. What energizes them, what fills them up, having boundaries, because ultimately, in order to help others, first you need to help yourself. And you can't pour from an empty cup. So if you make sure as a leader that you prioritize, the things that are important to you, the things that make you happy, the things that make you feel energized, you're gonna show up as a better leader. You're gonna show up as a better friend, as a better husband, wife, whatever it is. It's just gonna allow you to have the energy to do the things to the best of your ability, okay? So make sure that you prioritize your self-care. The second one, number 2, they stick to their strengths, okay? And a big part of this is they really know themselves. I'm a firm believer that before you can lead others, you need to lead yourself. Before you can lead yourself, you need to know yourself. So not enough people spend time really figuring out who are they, what's important to them, what are their values, what are their strengths, what are the weaknesses, how do they operate, are they an introvert, are they an extrovert, right? So that's step 1. Before you can stick to your strengths, you gotta know them, okay? There's a lot of personality tests out there, a lot of things, but how do you wanna lead? How do you wanna show up? And stick to that, right? So many people try to get good at everything, and instead you become average, right? Jack of all trades, but that's not what we really want. Instead, a true leader they know the things that they're really, really good at, how they can best move the needle, and then they create a team around them to fill in the gaps. So that's what I challenge you to do, is look at it from a team standpoint of what are you really good at, and then what can other people bring to the table, and be open to learning from them. Okay, moving on to number 3. This is huge. They take extreme ownership. And what is extreme ownership? It's holding people accountable, but it's also asking the question, how could I have done better as a leader, right? So if you have someone on your team who doesn't hit the quota of what you expected, or they don't do a job the right way, it's okay to hold them accountable. It's okay to say, hey, this is what it was expected. Things didn't work out that way. But also you need to ask yourself, how could I better show up for them? How could I make sure that they're prepared? How could I better communicate? How could I better set expectations? And that's what the best of the best leaders do, is they do hold people accountable, but instead of pointing fingers and pointing blame, while holding someone accountable, they also ask, okay, how can I show up better? How can I make sure that you are prepared to do what you need to do? And that goes into what ties into this is responsibility. Having responsibility. And the one piece that a lot of people miss when it comes to responsibility is even when you delegate, you are still responsible. So if I'm a leader and I delegate something to somebody on my team because they can do it better, they can do it faster, I don't have the time and energy for it, well, if it doesn't get done the way that I expected, it's still on me, because I need to make sure that they have all the tools they need, they have the communication, and support them in that. So just keep in mind that even when you delegate, you need to hold responsibility. And then off to number 4, communicate. They know how to communicate. And this is a tough one. Likely we'll do lots of videos on communication. Ultimately, they ask better questions, right? They don't just tell you what to do. They ask questions, they build relationship, and you as someone on their team or someone who works for this leader, you feel like a person, not just a job title or a role. So leaders communicate effectively, and that's setting expectations, that's giving positive feedback, that's also giving negative feedback, but knowing how to communicate with your team, knowing how to ask them what they need, and also ask questions so that they feel seen, heard, and understood, okay? And then last but not least, number 5, the best leaders are students. They're lifelong students, so they're always open to learning, right? They create an environment where they're willing to take feedback, right? So even if a leader's in charge, if you're running a company or a business, or you are the head coach, you also need to be able to learn from other people. You need to be open to that feedback. You need to create an environment where it's okay to have dialogue. It's okay to have pushback, right? So if you're a leader and you think that you know everything, or you're not willing to listen and learn from the people on your team, you're really missing out. So those are my 5 things that are gonna make you a better leader. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and if you wanna learn more about coaching, check out the links, send me a message. I would love to talk to you about becoming a better leader.